I've got Nicholas Eckelberry. You know, normally Riggs, the CEO of OriginOil, comes on with us, and we've been following this company closely for a number of reasons. First of all, because it's interesting how a business model can sort of transform before your very eyes. And this when we first started following OriginOil, by the way, it's originoil.com, and their stock symbol OOIL. I get an awful lot of email and press inquiries about that, so I want to put that out right at the top. But this company, we started talking about as an electro-water sort of oil and gas gray water cleanup company. And it has turned into so much more over the last, 8, 12 weeks we've been following this. And we're very excited to have the inventor in studio today, Nicholas Eckelberry. Of course, you remember him from Back to the Future. You remember him from Taxi.
That's right.
Where with Michael J. Fox.
I saw a DeLorean parked out here, too.
Right.
I wondered.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly. So, Nick, you are the co-founder and chief inventor here. And explain, because there's some people who haven't heard you before, and there's some people who haven't even heard of the company before. But sort of give us sort of the genesis of this thing, and how do we get to where we are now?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm very impressed to be among fellow inventors.
Thank you, sir.
From a guy like that,
yeah.
You have to.
Well,
I'm impressed. But basically, what we've managed to do is figure out how to get stuff out of water.
Yeah.
We originally started with algae to get algae out of water, and that led to getting other products out of water, oil and gas, and ammonia, and.
So how did it get in the water? Is it in all our water?
It's in all our water.
Well, yeah, and keep in mind, like for oil and gas, for example, when they extract oil, they use water to extract oil out of holes, and of course, what comes up is water that you can't just dump down the drain. You got to do something with it. So
That's correct.
So the EPA sort of is your friend and your enemy at the same time on something like this. It drives your business model with a mandate.
Well, it's not only the EPA; it's also practical considerations. I mean, you have a certain amount of water, and you're using 6 to 7 barrels, maybe more, to get 1 barrel of oil.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, there's going to be an imbalance, EPA or not. It's just it just doesn't make sense.
Did you start, by the way? Was this thing actually started because of oil and gas? Was that your focus at the very beginning?
No, the very, very first focus was to get algae to produce oil, and then get the oil out of the algae.
Because oil is basically old algae.
Oh, it was old algae.
Really
correct.
old.
Really
old.
But so you guys try to extract oil out of harvested algae.
Exactly. Okay. So that led. The first step was to grow the algae, and
That's easy.
Well, relatively.
Yeah.
Growing
algae? Oh, look at my pool.
In large quantities.
Right.
It actually becomes a little more difficult.
Right.
But then we realized very quickly into the game that we had to get this algae out of the water, which led to my looking into this problem. And strangely enough, we solved the problem, and we're actually the only company that I know of that actually does that process.
You surprised yourself, did you?
Surprised myself.
Hell, it worked.
It worked.
So in the original idea was that you would drop off a container that had the electro water device in it.
Yes, EWS, right?
And leave it there.
Yes.
License the technology and
Correct.
walk out the door. That's sort of changed over the last.
It's changed dramatically. I think we're evolving. As an inventor, I'm now out of the ivory tower and actually getting involved in installations. I just came back from Paris. We did a very successful installation there. Yeah, a whole week in Paris.
Nice.
It was tough.
Yeah, I bet.
It was really tough.
They're going to be testing in Maui next, and if I'm not mistaken, the Seychelles Islands, and then perhaps Bora Bora. You notice they never
Detroit. They don't need water.
They never test water like in Cleveland.
No,
water's perfect in Cleveland.
Cleveland's fine. It's a tropical area. It doesn't need our help.
Yeah. Those pollution down there.
Nicholas Eckelberry, co-founder and chief inventor for OriginOil OOIL. What is the process called again?
EWS, electro-water separation.
Electro-water separation.
And we're actually have 3 products. We have the first product, which is the algae, the original one.
Yeah.
And the second one, which is the cleaning of oil and gas water. And the third one, which I'm very proud of, which is the aquaculture unit.
Okay, so talk about that, because for our TV audience, they're seeing actually video of an algae farm, and for a radio audience, it's very easy to go to look at this video. You can just go to originoil.com. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the aquaculture side of this thing and what was the genesis of that and sort of what it encompasses.
Well, when I got given a challenge, and the challenge was, there's ammonia in water, and I went, could get that out of water. And then I realized that it's very hard to get ammonia. Out of
Where
water.
does ammonia exist in water? Give me an example of an application where ammonia would exist
It basically is the effluent of fish and shrimp and water.
Oh,
so it's everything they poop.
Fish poop.
Fish poop.
in
That's
water.
correct.
It's ammonia.
Well, that's good.
What does your urine smell like after it's been in your shorts all day long? It smells
becomes
like ammonia.
Okay.
ammonia.
Right.
So it becomes very toxic, and it starts killing your fisheries off. So you have to replenish the water, you have to lower the pH of the water, you have to do all kinds of things to water in order for the fish to live. But you have a huge mortality rate. And second to that, there's another problem in aquaculture, which is these bacteria infections. And these comes in swarms. For instance, just in the past month, there's been a loss of 20% of the shrimp population globally, which has increased the price
So it's
of
like
shrimp.
the swine flu for shrimp or something?
Exactly. These things attack as the oceans acidify. These bacteria have a happy home.
You're grossing me out.
And this is a food source for, pick a number, 3, 4, 5 billion people.
Yeah.
And it's an incredibly big problem. And this goes on my mantra of producing fuel, food, and fertilizers.
Hey,
and that's
tongue
the 3
twister.
S. The 3 S.
Almost slipped there, didn't you, Don?
Okay? So let's talk about this because as we move forward, we're sort of seeing new business models arc up from the existing business model.
That's correct.
And even as late as just yesterday, you got a patent in Japan for your core extraction invention. That's yet another little wrinkle of what you do. So let's talk about that.
Well, the core extraction is actually the mother patent. It's the original one. We wrote that I don't know how many years ago, 3 or 4 years I think, and that was the original idea, and from that came all these other patents. I forget how many now. But we have many patents in that area. But this was the core patent. And strangely enough, it first got approved in Australia, and then it got approved in Japan. And sooner or later, the USPTO will get around to it in America.
So and when it gets approved, and when it does get approved in the U.S., get approved in the U.S., then what does that mean for you as a company? Is that going to change things for you dramatically, or does it? Or do we sit here and?
Yes and no. I mean, a patent is a good legal document. It's a franchise given to you by the USPTO to perform your activity. Having said that, in the incarnations that have happened since that filing, which is 4 or 5 years ago, we have many trade secrets, we have many new patents, we have many new advances. So that is very important for investors, it's very important for the core IP, which we're an IP company. But really it's the practices in the field. And I'm really pleased in the next few weeks we'll be setting up at that site, the Mecca site in Salton Sea.
Yeah. That's one big dirty hunk of water out there, isn't it?
It's a huge, huge.
Clean that up.
No, we're going to do it, and we're very excited. It's going to be a showcase of all the technologies.
Oh, great!
And we're going to have people flying in from all over the world. We've already got some Filipino groups interested. I'm going to Japan because of this patent.
But only the sunny parts.
Only the sunny part.
Where the beaches are.
Let me tell you about Salton Sea sunny parts.
Yeah, that is sunny.
Let's so for you has oil the oil water separation taken a backseat, or is everything
Not at all.
everything
No.
front and center? Because
It's all front and center. It's all front and center.
I got an email from Carlton Bracco here asking, are you still maintaining
Oh,
your
absolutely.
focus on everything?
No. I'm the inventor, so I'm a little bit ahead of the company, and just because of that, I'm looking forward. Everything else is totally on track. We're doing licensing deals in Canada. We've got some people in Bakersfield. All this stuff is going on. This is all concurrent. And in fact, the algae appliance, we just shipped 2 more units last week. We're shipping some more units. We got orders in the pipeline. So the algae is going good. I'm looking at aqua appliance because I'm leading the charge, so to speak.
The what's next is going to be what we're going to focus on. In fact, I want to focus on where you think how many other products are going to come out of this thing. We're going to talk about that at 20 past the hour.
And if you can get alcohol out of water, could I have a double? Just pour it on the rocks for me, please. Stay some of that, thank you.
Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. Our friends from OriginOil in studio with us. Nick Eckelberry. Nicholas is his name. He is the co-founder and chief inventor for OriginOil, OriginOil.com. OOIL is their stock symbol. More Big Biz Show coming up. OriginOil in studio. OOIL is their stock symbol. OriginOil.com, their website. And of course, Nicholas Eckelberry, co-founder and chief inventor CIO, Chief Inventor Officer.
Yep, met him at the Inventors retreat back in '78.
Yeah.
I knew this guy was going places. I'll tell you what. So we brought him on
So
board.
he's a rocket scientist.
Wasn't that when we designed the pet rock?
Wow, you got a great memory.
There you go. Hey, listen, before I let you out of here today, so what's interesting to me, and we've talked about this before, and I've talked about this with rigs before too, is that oftentimes there's a point A and a point B that companies like yours try to get to.
Right.
But the point B you never get to because the real point B is so much better than the original point B along the way. That has happened to you over and over again. Don't you agree?
Well, I agree. You know, the thing of when you're in engineering, you know, and Microsoft discovered this early on. They come up with version, 5.0, whatever,
Right, right.
and then next week 6.0, next week 7.0. And that's what we aim to do as well. We put a break on what we have and say this is it. It's ready to go to market.
Yeah.
We start selling it, and then we upgrade.
Sure.
And so this is our model right now. So I'm very excited because now I'm actually getting involved in installations and sales, and matching up technology to what the customer needs
A
and
little more
wants.
fun getting out of the laboratory, isn't it?
I get to go to Paris.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Hey, listen. So, and before I let you out of here, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
did you anticipate that this would be the case where you're at now?
Absolutely not.
So, which obviously gives you some cause for promise for what's going to happen. next year.
every year on the first of the year, I think to myself, what's going to happen this year?
Yeah.
And it's a big blank slate.
Yeah.
But in that blank slate, opportunity arises, and I set myself up to have that chance
Sure.
occur to me, or
Right.
that luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready for it.
Right.
And so
And then
innovation
follow up on it, and bam, look
follow
what
up on
happened.
it, and try this, try that.
Good stuff. Listen, Nicholas, I want you to come back. We need to have you and your brother back in at the same time. And I think, honestly, I think this is the type of documentary I'd love to see from soup to nuts. I'd like to see some information on that because I get so many emails when you're on airways. I appreciate it. One more time, OriginOil.
I think I
double OIL. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much.
See you soon. All right, there. He'll be back in studio with us in a very short amount of time. We're going to have Riggs back in here as well. But yeah, I love that stuff.